Good evening, Drew.
Jesus, 2 stiff drinks later. What day is it? I don't even know.
Time is meaningless.
Time is pretty meaningless. You're probably going to hear my dog yelling at me. He's like behind me. I literally just walked in the door. It has been a day. Rocky, come on, go lay down. Jeez, cut this out. Rocky, go lay down. I don't care if you cut it out. Leave it in. I don't know. The show is the show. I don't know. Oh God, I'm so drunk. Okay.
How you doing, Drew?
That's me crying into my hands. It's been, I think. Okay, so let's be completely transparent with our 6 listeners. So I had to postpone recording this week. We're recording on a Saturday.
Yes.
Typically we record on Thursdays. I had to postpone recording because, my God, I'm so busy. For reasons I really can't get into on the podcast. I'm just exceptionally busy with work right now. But
that happens, yeah.
Given that I record with the world's most flexible person, we were able to make it work. So here we are on a Saturday night. Okay. All right. I got all that out. I feel better.
Okay.
I feel better. How are you? How are you? I imagine that you're very sad because the Blue Jackets lost the thing, right?
I'm not surprised they lost the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
No. I'm honestly, the fact they got into the playoffs at all this year was, damn near spectacular and unexpected. And yeah. We won exactly 1 more game or 2 more games than I thought we would. So
yeah. Now, who are you rooting for now? Now that the Blue Jacket boys are out, who are you rooting for?
I'm going to root for the Vegas Knights again.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Exactly. They made it into the second round. They're going to play the Canucks. Yes.
The Canucks. Yeah, Canucks.
From Canada.
From Canada. That's what that means. I look at our doc this week, and boy, it's all over the place. It is. And you added some stuff since last time I looked, so. I added some stuff. Okay. All right. Okay, so late breaking item for the show notes.
Yes.
I don't know how much you keep up on this, but considering it's got your favorite comic in it.
Oh, so your question, if you're asking me how much I'm keeping up on all of the news coming out of the DC Fandom virtual conference, I'm not actually watching it, but I'm watching the news pretty closely, and I'm very excited about some of the stuff that came out today.
Yeah, so the one that caught my eye, because I'm again, I think if you listen to this show on any sort of regular basis, you know that I don't read comic books, but it looks like there is a new, Arkham City type game coming out for consoles and PC called Gotham Knights.
Yeah. So it's actually weird. Okay, so Gotham Knights is being done by it's Rocksteady, but it's a different development crew. The developers who worked on Arkham are working on Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, which is another game they announced today. So
okay, so that's a game. That's not a movie. That's a game.
The trailer or the announcement for the new Suicide Squad reboot also announced today. But Gotham Knights is going to come out first. It's going to come out in 2021. The Suicide Squad game comes out in 2022. No, yeah, 2022. And will be next gen only, I think. But no, Gotham Knights definitely is the more interesting, more exciting, more soonish. They actually dropped some gameplay. Yeah. What'd you think of it, Drew?
I have no idea. I have no opinion. I'm sorry. I just saw it and I'm like, that's Batman. That's in Paul's wheelhouse.
It's actually not Batman.
Well, it's not Batman. That's the news, right? You're not going to be Batman anymore. You're going to be like Robin and Batgirl and all the people all the characters people don't necessarily care about. Okay, but you hit on an interesting topic here because I just realized we never talked about Suicide Squad. The movie, that is.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't.
Oh, you didn't like it?
It's fine. It's fine.
It was before our podcast.
Yes, it's fine.
It was before our podcast. I didn't see it when it came out. Friend of the show Blake saw it and didn't have nice things to say about it, if I recall.
That's correct. Yes,
and he's a big DC Marvel superhero person. Like, he willingly plays money for like a mobile game in that universe. So I'm pretty sure that puts him squarely in the crosshairs of what these people were marketing to. I saw it probably 8 months ago when people were allowed to travel for stuff, and I saw it in a hotel room. I gotta be honest, I think I kind of liked it. Does that make me bad?
No, it absolutely does not.
Okay.
I mean, they've definitely released worse DC movies in the recent time frame. So
what's the worst? What's the worst DC movie? Like, what's one that really gets you? Like,
I'm just gonna go with the recent DC cinematic, whatever they call it, the DC whatever the shitstorm is. Batman versus Superman is awful, but I think Justice League was worse.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. It was just, and I am now, granted, I am super optimistic about the Snyder Cut that's going to come out. They released a trailer for that today as well. So they're going back to the original director and reshooting some scenes and letting him put out the movie how he wanted it to be made. Given that even the actors themselves were like, yeah, like, Whedon ruined it. We want the Snyder Cut to come out as well. So I'm optimistic for that.
Wait a second. Hold on. It's alarm bells are going off my head. Hal, is this the movie where they like edited out somebody's nipples? Is that the thing?
I don't know about the nipples.
Okay.
It is the one where they had to like edit out Henry what is his face? Cavill's mustache.
That's what it is. It wasn't the nipples,
yes,
it was the mustache.
It was the mustache. Yes. Yeah. Because I think it was Josh Whedon. Hold on. Let's make sure I'm not. Yeah. So, yeah, Zack Snyder started making the movie. He had to stop her for I think it was for personal reasons, or the studio didn't like what he was doing. I don't know. Either way, Josh Whedon came in and just took a big, giant Whedon turd all over it. And it was bad. It was really bad. So okay. I'm looking forward.
I never saw it. I never saw that movie.
I think the Wonder Woman movies movie. Go ahead.
Well, there's two movies, right? Isn't there like two Batman versus Superman movies or something?
There's Batman versus Superman, and then there's Justice League. Those are the two. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Wonder Woman movies are good, right?
Yes. Those are good.
I never saw those either. I don't know.
Those ones are good. Aquaman is okay. Birds of Prey, I think, is worse than Suicide Squad.
Oof.
Yeah, it's they're just trying to ride that Harley Quinn train for all it's worth. Shazam is surpringly delightful, except for like the last 15 minutes, where then it just Shazam. Dude, so, do you know anything about Shazam?
Okay, so here's what I know about Shazam. Like, apparently people think it was a movie, but it wasn't really a movie.
Okay.
Something like that. Okay. Help me out here.
So, yeah, there was, and they thought that what's his face, Shaquille O'Neal was in it or something. It must be a genie movie.
Yeah, right. Well,
that movie doesn't exist. Shazam. I'm talking about Shazam as a character in the DC universe. So essentially,
I have no idea.
Shazam. The premise is there's this like orphan. He's like, I think he's 14 years old, Billy Baxton, and he gets his superpower where he can Shazam and turn into basically this big, muscly superhero that looks like an adult, but inside he's still a 14-year-old boy, and it is it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Oh no!
Especially like in some of the it's it's good. Shazam is not a bad movie. Aquaman's not a bad movie. Suicide Squad is. It's fine. I'll give that a right in the middle. Yeah. Justice League is awful. Anywho, Gotham Knights.
Maybe it's a sign of how out of touch I am. I didn't know Will Smith was in that movie until I'm like, hey, that's Will Smith.
That's Will Smith. Yeah, he regrets that movie. The acting was all over the place in that movie. I think Will Smith did as best as he could, given the.
He really. Yeah, now that I'm like sort of self-reflecting on that, I'm like, yeah, Will Smith, I think, realized what he was doing, and he's like, I gotta carry this thing. I mean, Margot Robbie gonna Margot Robbie, but yeah, everybody loves Harley Quinn, right? But like, yeah, Jared Leto as the Joker, yeah, didn't feel that one.
No.
Who else was really bad? Who else was really bad in that movie? The guy that played the Croc guy, I thought was okay.
Yeah. Well, Captain Boomerang.
Oh, right, Captain Boomerang, yeah.
No, Margot Robbie did play Harley Quinn really well. I just think the movie just stunk. Yeah.
It was an interesting premise that
yes.
Had that cast been in any other plot, I think it would have been a better movie.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Which is why they're just making another Suicide Squad movie called Suicide Squad.
Right. Let's just pretend the other one didn't happen.
Let's just not do. Yeah, exactly. It's not Suicide Squad 2. It's just Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So, So I was literally at dinner, 2 drinks deep, and I was browsing my phone, avoiding reality, as I want to do, and I literally noticed that they announced a new game, and I know that those Batman, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and what's the other one?
There's 3 of them, Arkham right? Asylum. Technically, there's 4.
Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that those games are some of your favorites.
Yeah. They got like Arkham Asylum was, I think, really one of the first like big superhero games, and it kind of like defined that combat style, right? The whole punch counter, gadget that other games have imitated. The last one, last one was Arkham City. Was great.
The one with the Batmobile.
Yeah, the Batmobile was awful. Anything with the Batmobile was awful. In fact, I thought about replaying it recently, and I'm like, you know what? No, like the Batman parts are really good. The Batmobile parts are so bad, I don't want to play them. Yeah, it's okay. They needed a gimmick. They needed a gimmick, and they win Batmobile, and
I started to play one of those games.
Yeah.
The one with the Riddler stuff.
All of them have the Riddler stuff.
One.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I don't know. But I started to play it. It was really cool. And then for some reason, I just kind of stopped. I don't remember why. Yeah. But I've only like sort of played those games. And like, I think I own them all. Because I think I've either gotten them for free somehow. Or like, I bought them at some point when they were on sale thinking, I'll get to this eventually. And then never got to this eventually.
They're good-ish. I think Arkham Asylum is the best kind of like. It's not the most. It's an older game, right? Because it was the first one, but it's more focused. It's more self-contained.
I feel like that's the one that people sort of hold up to like the best one in the series, right?
I think so, and that's my opinion as well. Yeah.
Well, that's the one I think I played. I think I played the first one, and like I remember that part of the reason I never jumped on that bandwagon was. At the time, I don't necessarily think I was on a next-gen console when current gen was referred to as next-gen. Yeah. And like, I seem to remember that there was like a big brouhaha around the third game in the series, the Batmobile one, that was like really like running like ass on computers, and I was just like, I'm going to stay away. And then they like fixed it like slowly, and apparently it's acceptable to play now, but I just never got around to it.
Yeah. Oh, so it was Arkham City and then Arkham Knight was the last one. Yeah.
Okay, Arkham City's the second one. That's the one I always seem to forget.
Yes. And then there's also Arkham Origins, which you should just pretend doesn't exist.
Arkham Origins. Mm-hmm. See, I didn't even know that was a thing.
It was like a prequel. It was done by a different developer. It had a different voice cast and a slightly different art style. It was meh.
Now the person, I don't want to be gender normative. Mm-hmm. The person who recorded the voiceovers for Batman in the game was the same person that did the voice for Batman in the animated series, right?
Yep.
What's that person's name?
Oh, hold on.
And then Mark Hamill does the Joker, right?
Yes. Kevin Conroy is
Kevin
Yeah,
Conroy,
he's probably,
that's the guy.
if you like, if Batman speaks in your head, it's probably Kevin Conroy's voice that you hear.
I loved that Batman animated series.
I did too. It was really good.
It was really good. It was really good. Mm-hmm. Man, taking me back.
That was the series that actually introduced Harley Quinn. So, yeah. Fun fact.
Really? Like Harley Quinn wasn't a character before that?
Nope.
Really? Not even in the comics or anything?
Nope.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, I learned something tonight.
There you go.
Huh. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty crazy, actually. So, an animated cartoon series actually like made a character canon.
Yes. Yep.
That's crazy. That is nutty to me. Wow, I feel like I could almost do something with that knowledge. Like I feel empowered. Oh, okay. Yeah, so anyway, we went way out of left field there. So tell me,
full of tangents
did
today.
you watch did you watch the trailer?
I watched the trailer, and they also had a gameplay reveal that came out slightly after that, and I've watched both.
So I didn't get to watch any trailers because I was in a busy restaurant, but I read the article, and it looks like there's like Robin and Batgirl and
Red Hood and Nightwing.
So who's Red Hood? Isn't that like Robin? Like Robin who it says, screw it, I'm gonna kill people?
Yeah, it's depending on the series. It's either like Jason Todd, who didn't die and came back, or basically he's a Robin gone bad, but also kind of brought back into the Bat family. Yeah.
So I was skimming the article, and again, I'd been drinking, so take this with a grain of salt. But like, I was scrolling through, and I'm like, that looks an awful lot like Deadpool. But I'm like, there's no way that could be Deadpool. That must be Red Hood.
That's Red
right?
Hood. Yes. Yep.
Okay, it's Red Hood.
That's Red Hood.
All right. Mm-hmm. So Red Hood, Batgirl, Robin, and who was the other one?
Nightwing.
Right. Which is another version of Robin.
It's the first Robin, Dick Grayson. As he kind of grows up and outgrows Robin, he turns into Nightwing. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. How do you keep this straight?
There's a lot. There's
so much.
Yeah, there's so much. The Bat family, as it will.
The Bat family. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be real. If there's a downloadable character where I could play the car that's really Batman.
the Bat monster truck.
Oh my God, I will buy that. Oh. I can't believe that's a real thing.
Oh, I need to get back reading on those. They're just so bad. They're so hard to read.
You just completely checked out, didn't you?
I did.
You were like, this is really bad. I'm just going to stop.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, God. That's hilarious. Somebody thought that was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. Any other comments about that before we jump into how my day went?
Let's go into your day, Drew.
Oh. Okay. All right. So we've definitely talked a fair share amount on this show about car ownership and things that we buy. We've talked about electric cars, and we've talked about my love of cars and the cars that I own.
Mm-hmm.
So today was the day that we finally replaced my wife's car.
Okay.
Yeah, so my wife drives a Subaru Forester. She drove a Subaru Forester. She has a new Subaru Forester. It's a 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know if you've had to go through this recently, but in the world that we live in 2020, even things like buying a car are so different right now.
I haven't even been to a dealer or got service.
So there's basically two parts of this story I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about like what we had to go through to get her car, and what I'm currently going through because I'm also considering getting a different car. We'll tackle that in a separate discussion as time allows. But so my wife, she has driven a Forester for like the last 8 years, and she loves that car. It's a great car. I love Subaru. I think Subaru's a great dealer or a great manufacturer. Their dealerships are all generally pretty nice, and they hold their value really well, and they're really reliable. They're very versatile, right? All-wheel drive. They're great for living in Ohio when it does snow or when it rains or things like that. About a year ago, she was getting her car serviced, and they gave her a loaner car, as dealers do, and it was a newer model Forester that was like really sharp. And granted, I'm not an SUV guy. I tried to be an SUV guy. It didn't really work out. But they lent her a newer Forester that was like this really dark blue, and it had like all these orange accents on it, and it just pops. Like I got to admit, it's really sharp. So they lent her that car when she was getting her car serviced, and she was like, if I was getting a new Subaru, this is what I would want to get. So like that was like a year ago, and she's been thinking about getting a new car for a while. She hasn't had a car payment for a while, which is kind of the reason she was holding out. But she's at the point now where she's like, I want to get a new car. So about a month and a half ago, we sort of started this search to say we were going to go out and get a new Forester for her.
Okay.
And she was really particular with what she wanted, right? She was like, listen, I really want that blue. And I want Apple CarPlay, and I want a couple other nice to have features, right? But like, she didn't need a souped up model. She didn't need every option. She was very hyper focused on a particular model and trim level of the Subaru. It's a Subaru Sport, which is what it is. And don't let that fool you. Like, that is more of the middle to lower tier package that you can get on the Subaru. Like, if you want to spend $38,000 on a Subaru Forester, like, trust me, you can. Like, if you load up the right trim level and buy it, right? But like, the goal was to be like at 30 or under. Now we live in Dublin, and there is a Subaru dealership near us, and that's where she takes her current car to get serviced. She went over there. She was having her car in for service. She struck up a conversation with a salesperson, and they were like, so what do you want? And she kind of laid out for them, look, I want blue, I want this, I want that. And this was like right after like all the quarantine stuff started. Mm-hmm. And they were like, listen, we don't have that car. Number one, like, it's a really good time to buy a car because we're trying to stimulate the economy. Interest rates are like super low, and you're looking for a popular car that's really hard to get. And the salesperson at the time was like, you listen, if you give us $1,000, we'll like hold your place in line, and when we get one or get the chance to order you one, you can have one. And she was like, well, when will that be? And they're like, August at the earliest, and this was like in June. So she was like, I'll think about that. So we got in the car. She's like, what do you think about this? And I was like, well, let's go talk to the guy. So like, we get in the car, we go over to the dealership, and man, all right. So let's be real, right? In terms of checking privilege at the door here, I live in Dublin. There's a really there's a lot of car dealerships in Dublin.
There are, yes.
A lot of nicer car dealerships in Dublin, right? Like, for instance, like, the place where I bought my cars, a Mercedes dealership, they're here in Dublin. There's a Jeep dealership here that does really good business because you have all the 50-year-olds that want to get in touch with their youth that are buying Wranglers, and then you have like people who are buying Grand Cherokees. You got an Audi dealership, you got a BMW dealership, you got a Subaru dealership, a Honda dealership. Like, you got a pretty good presence. You got a Toyota dealership if you consider Sawmill part of Dublin. Like, you got a pretty good concentration of car dealerships. The problem is that if you're buying a car in Dublin, the assumption is you have Dublin money, and you don't necessarily are there to haggle. So like, so like the sticker price is the sticker price, right? But like, only an idiot pays sticker, right? And I've been that idiot because, like, if you want a performance car like an AMG or an M model BMW, like, you're probably going to pay above sticker because those cars are pretty rare, and dealers are reluctant to knock cost off of them because, like, all the time you spend haggling for $1,000 discount on the car, they're just going to laugh at you and sell it to the next person who's not willing to haggle, right?
Exactly,
so it's like,
yeah.
So, but like, okay, so maybe my Mercedes AMG falls into that category, but a Subaru Forester most definitely does not. But if you're buying a car in Dublin, the assumption is like kids with money only. So the people in Dublin have money to spend, and they don't necessarily need a break. Well, look, even people who make exorbitant amounts of money don't necessarily want to spend more than they have to, right?
True.
I pity anybody. I pity and also somehow envy anybody that doesn't have to worry about that. But at the same time, like, what we're talking about here is the spec Subaru that she wanted was like $32,000. And I'm not going to pay $32,000 for a Subaru Forester. I'm going to pay maybe $30,000 for that same model, or $29,000 if I'm lucky. Well, long story short, like, we go to the dealership, and, even before we start talking about trade-in or any other crap, it's like, well, what do you want to pay? And we're like, here's what we want to pay. And the guy's like, no, we really can't do that. Now, the thing I found really interesting in dealing with this salesperson at the dealership here in Dublin was the conversation was literally, we don't have that car, we have one coming, give us a deposit, you can get it. Never in the conversation was it, we don't have that car, let me see if I can trade another dealership for it. Because that's a pretty common thing that dealers will do here in the States, is to say,
yes,
we don't have that car, but I can get you that car. I may have to trade something from my inventory to get it, or I might have to promise a future allocation to another dealership to get it, but I can go find you that car. Well, that never even entered into the conversation with the dealership here in Dublin. Now, there's another Subaru dealership on the south side of town closer to you, which used to be Hatfield Subaru, is now part of another dealership chain. And, listen, they don't sponsor this show. I don't give a shit. But, they don't sponsor this show, but it's Germain Subaru now. They're a fantastic dealership. Like within 5 minutes of walking through the door, right? Completely different experience, right? Like, hey, how are you doing? What are you looking for? Okay, we don't have that car, but we can look around for one. They showed us to the area where the coffee was, and within 10 minutes, the guy came back and he's like, okay, we found, these cars that we can potentially get. What do you think? What kind of price are you thinking about? Okay, cool, that's doable. It was just like a night and day type of experience.
It was a good experience. It
was a good experience. It was like, I'm totally fine giving you my money. That was what we left it. Now again, you have to understand that supply chains are incredibly constrained even still, especially for cars, right? Where there's a big lag time. Cars produced not in this country take a little bit longer to get here, especially if they go on a boat, and that already takes X amount of days. Well, if that's delayed, X plus whatever is still a pretty good long period of time. Exactly, so literally for a month, this dealer has been trying to find a car that meets the specifications that we laid out in terms of color, first choice, second choice, third choice, right? And options, first choice, second choice, third choice. Because now's a really good time to buy a car. Interest rates are really low on auto loans, and the Forcer's a really popular car. So we've been kind of patiently waiting. They said they were going to make their best effort to find one for us, and to their credit, they kept us posted. The salesperson we were working with was really good about sending updates every few days to say, hey, this one fell through or that one fell through, and we were really beginning to sort of lose hope a little bit. And I started looking at dealerships that were well outside of the Columbus area. Hey, if we have to take a drive to Dayton, for example, we'll do it just because we want to get this done. But long story short, they came through for us.
Nice.
They called us. They called us and they said, hey, we got a car in. We're holding it for you. Do you still want it? Absolutely. When do you want to come in? So we made an appointment today to go in and sort of get it done. And my hope was, right, that we sort of already know, we had already agreed on the price of the car. The only sort of X factor was, and pro car buying tip is, you never talk about your trade-in until you've agreed on the price of the car. That is car negotiating 101 is they're going to ask you up front, hey, you trading something in, and you're I don't know. You just get to the price of the car first, and then work on your trade, because they'll lowball you on one or the other. Yeah, good tip, right? So they'll lowball you on one or the other. So we again, we had already sort of agreed, hey, if you can find this car, this is what we're willing to pay for it. They said no problem, we can do that. So everything was looking good. So we made an appointment. We drove down there this afternoon. Listen, if you ever bought a car, you know that there's a lot of paper signing. Yes. There's a lot of there's a lot of potential upselling that happens, right?
Yep.
There's there's delivery, right? Hey, here's how you hook up CarPlay, and here's how you adjust your seat, and all this other stuff, right? And they have to do that, right? Because that's part of the experience. So we had banked on it being a 3-hour tour at this dealership, and my goodness, it was almost a 4-hour affair, because
wow.
Yeah, well, and I can't be mad about it. I cannot be mad about it, because they were really busy, and they only had, at least when we were there, they only had 2 finance guys on duty. So literally we were done. They appraised the car. We were yep, we're good with that appraisal. We already knew what we were going to pay. We already knew what we were going to put down from a cash perspective. It was literally just wait our turn to go into the finance office and sign all the paperwork. Well, literally they were so backed up. And part of that is there were people in line ahead of us, and then the other one was there was this other guy that was just like dominating the salesperson's like time. You know what I mean?
One of
like
those.
it would, and I say this in the nicest possible way. I'm not trying to be elitist here. Please don't accuse me of that. But it's like he was trying to buy too much of a car that he could afford, and at some point the salesman. At some point, the salesman just needs to say, "Look, we cannot make this work. Like we're losing money on this deal. I can appreciate that you want your payment to literally be $7 lower, but we've gone as low as we can go." And I felt genuinely bad for both the salesperson and the person buying the car. They both wanted to get there, but you could just tell it wasn't going to happen. But like he was in that room for like 2 hours, and meanwhile, like we're waiting, right? And no one really had the heart to tell him, like, buddy, this isn't going to work. And I think they were really trying to get there, and I know they wanted his business, and they were really bending over backwards because, like, the door to the office was open, and, like, how can you not overhear it, right? And my heart genuinely went out to both of them because I'm just like, the guy really wants a car, this other guy really wants to sell him a car, but neither of them could really get to where they needed to be. But meanwhile, like that means that like while that's all happening for literally 2 hours, and I think it was still happening when we left, they basically had to funnel all the other business through one other person, and like we were like third in line. So it was just a question. Like literally, we got there, we walked around the car, we said, "Yep, that's definitely the thing we want." They did the car appraisal, which took like 20 minutes because it was fine, there was nothing wrong. And then it was literally like sit around and wait until it's our turn to go sign paperwork, and it just became a waiting game, and it just took a long time. So that's why I had 2 really stiff drinks at dinner because it was just so,
It was a long
and it's
day.
like, hey, buy this extended warranty. It was like, buy this extended warranty. No, I don't want it. Well, that's because you probably don't want to pay for it. That's exactly why. It's exactly why I don't want it. And it's like, well, have you thought about the value for money? And I'm like, well, what's the value for money? And he goes, well, you don't have to pay for maintenance. And I'm like, well, maintenance isn't that expensive to begin with. Why do I want a $20 more a month payment for this when I could just like pay cash when it's time for my service? I don't know. It's just, yeah.
But is she happy with her car?
Oh, she's thrilled.
Awesome.
She's thrilled. Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, I just want her to get what she wants. That's the main thrust.
Spectacular.
However, that makes Daddy want a new car.
Okay.
And we've sort of already talked. We sort of already talked about this, right? Mm-hmm. About how like I'm thinking about getting into something where I have no car payment or a significantly less car payment. And I tweeted a picture last weekend of a Lexus that I was test driving.
Is that the one you took home?
I caught so much shit for that picture. Holy cow!
Really?
People were sending me DMs and replies to my tweets and my Instagram saying, "How old are you?" Right? Like, why are you driving a 50-year-old person's car? And you know what? They're absolutely right. I came to my senses. It was a perfectly fine car. It was a Lexus ES350 F Sport, which basically means that it had a couple trim levels or a couple pieces of trim that made it look a little more aggressive. But at the end of the day, it was just the Lexus ES350, which is a very, very comfortable car. It's a way bigger car than I need, quite frankly. It had excellent technology. It was super comfortable. It just wasn't very engaging to drive. And, with my AMG right now, when I want it to be, it can be a beast. It can be very fun to drive. But the dealership that I was working with was like, take it for the weekend, see what you think. And at the end of the time, I'm like, yeah, I like the idea of this car. Owning this car, I think, is a different story. So I'm still kind of on the hunt. I was looking at a BMW 330i. But again, the problem is with the options that I want, I just can't find that car. And unless I'm willing to build a custom one, which is what I ended up doing with my Mercedes, by the way, like they literally built it to spec. But that's going to be a 5 to 6 week affair if I decide to order one. I haven't made up my mind yet. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm not even really guaranteed that I'm going to do it. It's just something that is kind of constantly on my mind. It'd be great if I had like next to zero or no car payment, because with the right combination, it's going to sound like a weird flex, and I don't mean it to be, but it's like one of those things with the equity I have in my AMG and a little bit down, I could have no car payment on a BMW, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah. So I'm still trying to figure all that out. I don't really have a definitive answer on it yet, but just to say that I'm looking. You know, it'd be nice to maybe get a new car this year, but if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. Like, not that I'm going that many places as it is right now. It's just one of those things. And I'm sorry if you hear Rocky. We were gone a long.
He's very upset with you, but
he's very pupset. We were gone a long time today, and he's very pupset. Yeah. He's very pupset.
He's like, I demand attention right now.
I demand satisfaction. Yeah, that's him. Oh. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. Paul, I gotta tell you, man.
Okay.
You have Apple CarPlay in your car, right?
I do.
Yeah. So the BMW has wireless CarPlay.
I know. I'm so BMW was the first car manufacturer to do the wireless CarPlay. Yeah. Yeah.
And as I understand it, it's not Bluetooth. Like the car actually has like a Wi-Fi network in it.
Yeah. Yes, I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how it works. So like when you get that option, there's a Qi. How do you say that?
Qi.
There's a Qi charger in the center console. You set your phone on that and it charges, and CarPlay's wireless. Like, that's like a game. That's a game change for me.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'm jealous. Yeah, I got to plug mine in with a cable.
Well, yeah. Mandy's car, you have to plug in with a cable too, and it's really awkward because like the area where you plug in the USB is like it's on the center pillar below the infotainment system, and like there's not enough room in there for a phone.
Oh.
So like you have the cable that sort of comes out of there past the gear selector, and then like wherever you want to put your phone. It's a very strange arrangement. It screams for wireless, right?
Yeah.
Just Subaru needs to get on that train.
Everybody does. Yep.
That's been my adventure today. More to be continued because I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my car. Because after my last adventure of getting the wheels fixed and the last service bill that I had, like, it really makes me not want to have a car payment. Oh, it just makes me want to have a car payment.
I get that.
I'm gonna change the order around here because it sounds like you've got some things.
Okay.
It seems like you've got some things that you want to talk about.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I moved. Okay, that's fine. We'll talk about my stuff. Though.
Yeah, no, do your stuff first.
Okay. The first one's really quick. I was kind of inspired by your purchase of Bumpr, the multi-browser, multi-web client solution for the Mac. And I bought it, and I'm switching back to the two browser lifestyle.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I wish it had one feature. I've actually considered emailing the developer asking for it. So there's a handful of apps that I use where it's primarily keyboard driven for me. And like one of them's like Reader and Twitterific, my Twitter client. And in both of them, I can use a keystroke to basically launch the link in a web browser. And it pops up and, does its thing, which is what I want. But I have to select the browser with the mouse.
Right.
So I have to take my hand off the keyboard onto the mouse and click. It's not enough of annoyance for me to stop using it, but it'd really be great if I could just hit like enter or space or something to select, the browser. Yeah, so, I'm glad I recommended it to you and then bought it myself.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that was a good purchase.
Yep.
I have used it a lot over the past 2 weeks because I've constantly had to flip back and forth between browsers due to a work project that I've been working on. And, man, that's a good product. I can't believe I threw a fit about, what was it, like $3 or whatever?
It's something like, $3 to $5, $6, I don't know, not much. It's like less than a Starbucks coffee.
Yeah. I mean, worth it. 100% worth it. 100% worth it. All right, what's your next thing?
Okay. So the next thing is this is a pair of headphones that was recommended to me by a mutual friend of ours, Andrew Wilcoxon. Hi, Andrew. He doesn't listen. He's a big audiophile, big headphone guy. He has like more headphones than you can shake a stick at. Okay, so Drew, if you have not clicked on this link, please click on this link.
I have clicked on it. Clicked on it.
Okay.
And so first of all, let me stop you right there. Two things. Number one, I don't understand why Andrew doesn't listen. First of all. Second of all, when you just said Andrew recommended these headphones to you, I grabbed my chest because Andrew is the type of person, for those of you that don't know him, he's a former coworker of mine, current coworker of Paul's, who absolutely will not bat an eye at spending $1,000 on headphones.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. Yeah.
To hear you say he's making a recommendation on $30 headphones that look completely assy. First of all, I'm looking at these pictures. These look worse than the headphones you would get on an international flight.
Yes. Okay. So these are the Koss KPH30IK on-ear headphones. And they look like they would just snap in two in your hands, right? So here's the thing about these headphones. So they look cheap, okay? If you look at the picture, they did not look like they are a good quality pair of headphones, right? They look like just standard, like, garbage, like, yeah. These are the kind of headphones that used to come in the box with the Walkman kind of look, right?
Oh my God, they look terrible. Okay. They look terrible. Okay. How could these be any good?
So here's the thing. The build quality is not great. They are very cheap feeling. You have to do some work to make them feel comfortable. I have personally got my hair stuck in them more times than I can count. In fact, I'm looking at my pair right now, and there's a hair I need to kind of pull out with a pair of tweezers because it got stuck and ripped out.
I mean, I can't click buy fast enough after that kind of recommendation.
Okay, but here's the thing, Drew. I in defiance of physics, these things sound incredible. The sound quality on these, now granted, like, I have a pair of, like, what are they? They're on my head right now. I can't look. They're from a company called Oppo. They're magnetic planar. I think that they're discontinued, but I think when I bought them new, they were like $400. Okay. Driven by a multi-$100 amp. Like, I threw some serious money at my audio setup. And my Oppo's magnetic planars, they're better, right? They are better than these $30 headphones, but not by much. The sound that comes out of these headphones is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. It's not, so they're open backed, right? So they leak. So, people behind you in the same room as you can hear what you're hearing, right? There is no isolation. There's no nothing, which for me in a work situation isn't going to work because no one wants to listen to, monster noises coming out of my headphones. It's that's why I wear closed back headphones that are very, the noise is isolated. Only I can hear them. Like it's a choice I make for the benefit of others. But in my office at home, I'm by myself, right? So I don't really need that. Like the trebles, the highs, they're a little. I don't want to do them a disservice, right? I don't want to say that the highs are clipped or muddied. They're just a little reduced, but the mids and the low ends sound phenomenal. Like, I cannot believe these are $30 headphones. I cannot believe it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So again, right? The headphones I'm wearing right now, the headphones on my head right now, and again, not a flex, were a personal recommendation from Mr. Wilcoxon.
Yes.
And they cost me $600.
Yep.
$600.
Yeah.
And that's to say nothing of the headphone amplifier that sits on my desk.
Yes.
Right? I'm in the same exact boat as you. So it is such a dick slap to the face that you're going to tell me that these $30 headphones are any good. I feel attacked. I feel attacked.
Now, granted, like, the build quality, like, they feel like a $30 pair of headphones, right? There is nothing premium about how these feel or how these look. The cord is like too thin at spots. It's all tangly. Like, if it wasn't for how good they sound, these would be garbage headphones. but they sound like, don't even take my word for it. Like, if you start looking at the reviews for this particular pair of headphones, like, you hear a lot of people going like, I'm an audiophile, like an enthusiast. Holy crap, these headphones are amazing.
So first of all, okay, so two burning questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
On this Amazon webpage listing, I noticed that there is a dark gray and white blue. What did you order?
So if the black are ugly, the white and blue are hideous. So I ordered.
Really? I would have pegged you for the white. I would have pegged you for the white.
No, I don't think that. No.
And second of all, who is this Adam Perks lookalike motherfucker on the picture of the blue and the whites?
It's only funny if you know Adam Perks. But if you know Adam Perks, it's really funny.
You know what? Like, these things have the price point that I almost want to buy them and prove you wrong. There's no way.
They sound, and like, I did that thing where like I was switching back, like when I get a new pair of headphones, I get a handful of songs, like my favorite songs that I always kind of try, and I went to those first, and I'm like this can't be real, and I kept switching back and forth between my headphones, and I'm like, okay, I can hear a difference, but it's
here's the thing though, logistically, I can't even make this work today because. This has a little, like, what size is that headphone jack? That's like the 3.5 millimeter or whatever
it's
called.
Standard small one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small boy, but I've got all my amps have the big boy slot.
You don't have an adapter?
Have the John Holmes slot.
You need to get an adapter.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so it's really not $30. It's more like $32.
I already had an adapter.
Ooh.
I actually have lots of them laying around. If I ever could leave my house, I would give you one.
Okay.
There are so many things bad about these headphones, right? Like, they're just, but the sound is just so, I don't understand.
How's the bass?
It's surprisingly good. And that's the bass. Like,
because your monster noise music definitely has a lot of bass.
I mean, not as much as like some pop music or, R&B or rap, but still, yeah, like some low sounds. And like, I understand how low sounds are made, right? Like, the bigger the speaker, the better for that. And like, literally in defiance of physics, these itty bitty drivers make an incredible low. I don't know why they sound so good, Drew. They make me angry.
Okay.
Like, how can
okay. So let's just hold on. Let's approach this scientifically. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I am now going to use the power of my computer and looking at Amazon. There of the 670 reviews of this 4.5 star product, 73% are 5-star reviews.
Yes.
So in the interest of fairness, I'm going to click on the 1-star reviews.
And the 1-star reviews are mostly around build quality. Like, it broke.
Okay, here we go.
Get it. Like,
buy. Okay, so this one says buy the cost KSC 75 instead. Posted a year and a half ago. No, I'm sorry, but the KSC 75s are magical compared to these and cost half as much. Okay, whoa. Okay, this went in a whole different direction. This individual is arguing that something even cheaper than this is better than these. My entire world is a lie. I'm done with cost headphones. Showed up broken. One side sounds... Okay, so here's a review that I would give a lot more weight to. One side sounds louder. Like, that sounds like a build quality issue to me.
Yeah. Like, I mean, mine sound good. And a lot of them are, good sound, poor quality, and that's the reviews. Like, a lot of the 1-star reviews are. Because I looked at them too, because like when I got this recommendation to me, I was like, I don't believe you. And he's like, I'm using them all day, and like he spent more money on headphones than people. He has. Yeah, some people spend on cars.
Yeah,
like it's
100%, 100% true statement.
And he's like, yeah. And then I got them and I texted them, Hold on, and hold on. There's a juicy comment in that text string. Hold on.
Now, to be fair, if anybody was going to find these hidden gems, it's going to be him.
Yep.
Right? Like he would be the person I would trust to deliver this type of review.
Yeah. So here's the last comment he said to me. But dude, sometimes on certain songs, I get a super clean bassy slam, and you are left wondering if physics is somehow being violated.
Oh, that makes me miss Andrew.
Yeah, and like
I can hear him saying those words.
Yes, and like I could like buy a pair of these for my children and give them like a pair of headphones that I don't necessarily care if they break, but I know actually sound good. Like there are so many reasons why you shouldn't buy these headphones, Drew. But there's
okay, five star review, title, good sound quality for $30. Verified purchase, actual comment, nice. You're gonna make me spend $30. You're gonna make me spend $30.
I honestly think if you had $30 burning a hole in your pocket, this is the best thing you could buy for $30.
Turns out, yeah, but what's the long game with these headphones?
I don't know.
How long conceivably will they last you? You're not traveling with them. Like, if I were to throw these in my backpack, like how
they would get destroyed.
Literally, they were going to get destroyed, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like the build quality is $30 build quality. Like there's it's plastic and rubber, and it feels like the mechanism to resize it will just pop out there at some point. And like I said, the style with my long hair, I literally get them caught in my hair constantly with these. The cord is not good. It's too thin going into the headphones themselves, and I can't get the coil out of it. It was all coiled up in the box, and I can still see every like ripple. It looks like the ocean. But my God.
Okay, so how long have you had them?
When did I get them? I placed the order the 18th, so I got them on the 20th. So I've had them for like 3 days now, 2.5 days.
Okay, so you're still in the honeymoon phase.
But they sound good, Drew. I don't understand how.
I want to hear you. I want to revisit this topic in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm gonna. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Okay. So this is episode 63.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 64. I already moved something too. We're gonna say episode 65, and we're gonna go in here and we're gonna say Paul headphone update. I want to hear where you're at 2 weeks with these. If you tell me after 2 weeks they're still sounding good and they're still performing well, I'll buy them.
All right.
But I don't know, man. There's just something about this that makes me nervous.
Dude, I felt if it wasn't for the person who recommended them to me, I would have sworn I was being like punked. And every one of these 5-star reviews are just like they're in on the joke, right? Like, but oh my goodness, it's.
I want to believe, Paul.
Okay,
I do want to believe.
We'll follow up in 2 weeks, and we'll circle back.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to move my topic out to next week because I have a lot to say about it, and we could easily spend another 20 minutes doing that, and we're coming up on time.
I've looked at that link for like 5 minutes now, and I have so many questions.
With the link I put in there?
Yes, because I went the next link down and was looking at all of the other accessories that go along with this.
Oh, Paul, we have so much to talk about, but you're going to have to wait till next episode.
Oh, okay.
All right. Where do people find us?
As always, we're on the internet at doingbest.com. You can reach us on Twitter at doingbestpod. You can reach me on Twitter at Paul Baylor. That's Bahler. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pittfurg, Pittfurg.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Stay safe and sober, everybody. Talk to you next week.
Doodles.